Okay, let's jump right into lab 3. We're going to have 3 mini sections in this lab, and by the time we're finished, we will have completed our base map and our map layout template. So don't open up Pro yet, okay? I want to show you the best workflow for opening up a new project. So let's navigate to our project folder. Okay, it should be in your 4403 folder. Here's mine. And what's important here is that all of your files have synced down to the hard drive on the local computer you are using. So I've seen a lot of students in school computers jump on the machine and immediately, try and open their project, but all the data hasn't had a chance to download and things get really wonky. So make sure you see all of these green check marks and then double click on the project file, and this is going to open up your project and the software. Okay, so I am in layout space. This is what my map would look like on a sheet of paper. And this is the first time I've opened this up in maybe 2 or 3 days. And it's nice when you give a project a break for a bit, because when you come back to it, you can really see it with fresh eyes. And I can see that this layout is just really too skinny. It's just kind of uncomfortable. So I want to change that, and let's do it like this. Double click on your map frame. Now your constraints should be on fixed, center, and scale. Okay, put those on none, because we're going to change the size of this layout, and that's going to change some of this as well. Now let's click on our sheet of paper, okay? Double click on that. And instead of an 18-inch width, let's go to 20, okay? And click OK. And I like that better. But we want to make the Yano a bit bigger. So let's right click on the boundary and choose zoom to layer. Okay, so that's too big. So let's click on 1 million. And you know what? I think that's going to be fine. We'll have room on the sides for our legends, and 1 to 1 million is a nice scale. So let's just leave it just like that. Okay, we can have our name and our logo right here, and anything else. Well, let's move it up just a hair. Okay, so right click on your map and choose activate, and this is going to allow you, by holding down the left mouse button, to just pull that up just a bit. Okay, not much. You want breathing room, but I don't want it to be unbalanced, because we're going to have some heavy visual elements down here. Okay, so far so good. Now click this button to go back to layout, and over here on your elements tab, let's lock that constraint back up to fixed, center, and scale. Okay, now let's hold down Control and tap S. All right, so far so good. Now what I want us to bring in are boundary data, okay, so that we can add state names and counties and all that good stuff. Before we do that, you're not going to see a massive change right now, but I want you to double click on your map file And here under reference scale, we know that we're at 1 to 1,000,000. So click that, choose OK. And that's going to make our symbology, like the outline of the Yano, appear the same as it does in the layout. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to jump on over to the USGS website. Remember, the link is in Blackboard, but you really need to have this bookmarked. Okay, and we are going to use small scale data sets, and these are great for very large areas. You can see that they cover the whole US. You can get contours, hydrography, transportation. You can get that for the entire United States. Okay, right now we're just going to do boundaries. We're going to do national, and make sure that you have file geodatabase selected, not shapefile. Okay, then scroll back up to the top, search products. Okay, so this is federal lands, and it looks like the hovering thing is a little out of whack here. These are Indian lands. That's our coastline. Okay, that's our county. National boundaries. State boundaries. Okay, so there's a lot of good stuff in here. And why don't we choose federal lands? There's a lot of federal lands in New Mexico, and that'll be part of our set. So that'll be included in our boundaries. Let's get the Indian lands as well. Okay, we don't need a coastline. Okay, let's get the county boundaries. And the national boundaries, because we are going to border Mexico. And then these are our state boundaries. So let's get those guys. All right, so we're done here. Let's close out of that. And what I want you to do is, if you hold down Alt and click Tab, and then you can keep tabbing through all of the windows you have open. So hopefully you have a File Explorer window open. If you don't, hold down Windows and click E. Okay. Now, grab one of your Explorer windows and just hold down on your left mouse button and bang it over here to the left, and then over here have an Explorer window on the right, okay? And in this window here on the right, let's have our boundaries folder opened up, and here on the left, let's have our downloads folder open up. Okay, that's a folder I didn't need. Okay, so let's do these one at a time. We're going to extract these and have them automatically go into our boundaries folder. So we want to copy this folder address. So select up here, Control C to copy, come back over here, choose Extract All, just do a Control V to paste in our address and hit Enter. Okay, and boom, there you go. Now come back here, click on this again, and hit Delete. And then it's just a question of rinse and repeat. So Extract All, Control V, hit Enter, and you will see your data states here. So come over here, click on this again and hit Delete. Here's our county data. Extract All, boom. Nice. And this keeps you really well organized, and that is so critical with this software program. Remember, you're really a project manager when you're working with this software, because you're handling numerous different files and not sure what happened there, that my address didn't paste in right, but I can just drag and drop that over, and then I can click on that and delete it. So all of our boundary files are in our boundaries folder. Okay, so let's close out of both of these Explorer windows. Let's come back into Pro and let's click on Catalog. Let's open up our folders, and under Boundaries, if you don't see all of these guys, right click and choose Refresh. And let's start from, let's put these in at the correct hierarchy, okay? So gently double click on this guy and call it US underscore national underscore border. Okay, and then drag and drop it on top of your Yano boundary. Okay, and it is currently symbolizing the entire US with this baby blue. So let's click on that and just choose, for now, we're gonna choose just a black outline, and then I'll get you the official national border symbology later, okay? And you know what? Let's go to properties and let's bump that up to like 3, okay? All right, now let's go back to our catalog, and now we want to do the states, okay? So just put, double click on that gently, US underscore state borders. Okay, now put that, drag and drop it under your national borders. Okay, now click on this fella and go to your gallery and choose, you won't have those, so don't worry about that, but choose this dashed outline, okay? That's gonna work fine for now. And why don't we turn off our world topo map so we can see this better. Okay, nice. Okay, back to the catalog, sorry, that's down there. And let's get in our county boundaries. So gently double click, US underscore county boundaries. Okay, and then we're gonna put that underneath our state borders. Okay, and let's click on that. We will choose the dashed again. Let's go to properties, and that's 1 point. So let's click on our US state borders and let's make this 2 points. So we have a hierarchy of scale. And see, the symbology is coming out very nicely because we are we set that reference scale to 1 million. Okay, now the Yano is our AOI, and so we do want to put that on top. All right, and this is looking good. Now let's put all of these guys in a folder. So hold down Shift with the Yano selected and click on County, and then right click and choose Group. Okay, and click on that group and just call this Boundaries. Okay, and this way we can easily turn them all off and on with just a click of a button. Okay, or we could open it up and do it individually. Okay, so far so good. Okay, now what I'd like us to do, let's Control S, okay, and let's come over to the Llano Estacado base, all right, and that looks pretty good. Let's get rid of the service layer credits. We'll take care of those later, but for now, I would like to have those out of here. Okay, so let's go to Insert, and we are going to choose Dynamic Text, and we're going to come down here by scrolling and choose your service layer credits, and then you get this funky crosshairs we talked about. So just make a box out here, and then always name your elements, and you could just call this credits and lock it and hide it. Okay, now I'd like you to take a screenshot of this, and then let's see about naming a few things. Okay, one of my concerns though is that the top of the state of Texas is at a but you know what, we're gonna have a border there, so I'm not too worried about that. Let's put that border in now. So right click on your ruler, add multiple guides. We're going to choose both horizontal and vertical, and we're going to offset them from the edge. And let's do a 0.5. Okay, so ½ an inch. Okay, great. So there are your borders, those light blue lines. So let's zoom up here. Click on your map frame and just drag it, and then you see how your borders go dashed. That means you're right on the money. Okay, now we can come down to the southeast corner and do the same exact thing. Okay, great. All right, so we're looking pretty good. Let's do a Control S. Now let's go to our state boundaries. And did you see what happened when okay, watch your tabs when I click on this layer, okay? So when you click on US state borders, 3 new tabs open up, okay? Any tabs that you see after this help tab, these are new tabs that the software is saying, hey, there's some cool features that you can do with the layer you selected. So, you know, pick me. So what we want to do is label, and they give it to us right there. Okay. So we want to choose the field that is going to be labeled. Okay. And that will be the name of the state. And then with this tag, we are going to turn the labeling on. Okay. So let's see what is happening here. Refresh that. Okay, so yeah, they're super tiny. I see New Mexico and Oklahoma and all of that. Okay, so let's go back to labeling, and let's open up our label placement. Okay. I'd like to get them on the side facing up. All right, and let's see how that looks with, there we go. There's Texas, there's New Mexico, loving it. Okay, so let's go back to labeling. And if you click down here, you're gonna see, just like with symbology, there's a lot of ready-made labels for us, okay? And we could start with one of those. So let's start with Boundary Scheme 2. I'm not really a huge fan of a lot of their labels, but let's zoom in, and actually that one looks pretty nice. Okay, and so I just want to bump it up, and we can just hit that increase font size. Okay, let's take it to 24. Or, I mean, 22 is good. Oops. Okay, so we've got our states labeled. Things are looking good. Okay, we could even label all these counties if we wanted to. Labeling is very powerful in GIS. Every map needs labels and a sense of context. And we're focusing on natural resources, but 90% of the people in this country would not know where the heck we are if this map didn't have a sense of context and didn't have labels. And that's what your base map is all about. It's your depicting, say, the hydrology of this area or the terrain. But folks want to know, they want to know where they are, okay? And that this is what we're doing. We're helping them get situated in their mind's eye on where this location is in the United States. Okay, so that's it for this mini section. In the next one, we are going to add populated places and roads. So hit Control S, and I will see you in the next one.